News out of the SEC, and look, it broke yesterday around,
I'm excited about this news.
I don't know, 4:30 or so. I know I was still on air whenever it broke. But the SEC, something we've long talked about it for a lot of years. It was the main, I would say the main conversation. There was like 3 or 4 because college football is college football now, but probably the main conversation down in Destin for spring meetings. And they are now going to implement a 9-game conference schedule in 2026. So this will continue with a single standings, non-divisional structure. Each school will play 3 annual opponents focused on maintaining many traditional rivalry games. Each team's remaining 6 games will rotate among the remaining conference schools. Each team will face every other SEC program at least once every 2 years, and every opponent home and away in 4 years. So you won't have the situation where we played at Kentucky in 2007 and you didn't play at Kentucky again until 2021. Mm-hmm. Like, you won't have those situations anymore. This is a big deal. This is something that, people outside of the SEC wanted the SEC to take part in, because the Big 10, Big 12, that's what they had. So now the ACC is the only one that still has 8 games. The Big 10, remember, like the last 2 national champions, they didn't play another Power 4 opponent in non-conference. Mm-hmm. And their argument was they had 9 conference games. And so now SEC also has the 9 conference games that the Big 10 and the Big 12 have always talked about. So, look.
Here's I got a question just before we kind of get into who the 3 yearly opponents should be. Is what game is going to be excluded going forward? Like when people start getting used to this and start planning their non-conference schedules, is it the bigger games, out of conference games, or is it going to be the rent-a-win games? Which game are people going to drop, do you think?
So when you got these contracts like these primetime opponents, they usually are the ones that get picked up by TV partners, and they get put in, sometimes in a neutral site location, and they'll be in Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta. So I would assume.
Well, I'm just like from an LSU standpoint, like if you're playing one extra SEC game a year, are you scheduling Clemson anymore? Or are you still going to schedule Clemson and not schedule Louisiana Tech?
Well, the SEC still have the rule in effect where you have to play a Power 4 non-conference opponent. That's going to be the question, too.
I hope so. I like to see it. I want a game that matters every single week.
And that's where we're going to start our conversation. I put it out there last night to a vote. Let me pull up these numbers here. 300 votes. So appreciate the interaction there, as always. And I asked the people, like, who do you most want to see as a permanent opponent for LSU? Because you're going to play 3. You're going to have 3 every year. Those 3 stay on your schedule. The other 6 just rotate around it, okay? And I put the 4 teams that I believe the most that LSU fans would want to see at least one of those. I put Alabama, I put Auburn, I put Ole Miss, and I put Florida 3 times.
Florida 3 times.
Florida 3 times would probably be my answer. Mm-hmm. So with 35.4% of the vote, Alabama. With 12.9% of the vote, Auburn. With 33% of the vote, Ole Miss. And Florida 3 times, 18.7% of the vote. So obviously we're joking with the Florida part, but I'm not joking when I put those 4 teams. If you want to play in your 3 permanent opponents, Mississippi State, Kentucky, and Vanderbilt, and be serious about it, that is your opinion. You're entitled to that opinion. We are just wired differently. We think about things in a different way. Because when I think of Mississippi State, when I think of Kentucky, and when I think of Vanderbilt, nothing jumps into my brain. You could go Bluegrass Miracle. That was a cool moment on Jefferson Pilot Sports. It was the breakfast game. Those teams don't create any emotion for me. 0. I played against those teams. I played against Mississippi State every year. Hell, we had a great game with Kentucky where we lost in triple overtime. It's a good game.
Watch the end of that game, like when people were finishing up their lunch.
But in Vanderbilt, like we played against Vanderbilt when Vanderbilt was one of their better teams with bad body language Jay at quarterback. Does nothing for me. College football is about looking forward to every single Saturday and looking forward to tailgating all day with your people and having this anticipation and this buildup that you can't even turn it off. You're giddy all day long because you're like, it's LSU Alabama, it's LSU Ole Miss, it's LSU Florida. I love the Auburn series. I wish that came back. Like, those are the memories. Immediately, Auburn, Flynn to Bird. Alabama, Jaden hitting Mason for a 2-point conversion. Florida, I can give you 97 of them. I can give you 1997. I can give you 07. I can give you fake field goals that bounced up and a kicker caught it. I can give you a guy that throws a cleat that gets a 15-yarder and LSU hits a 50-plus yard field goal in the fog. You can't even see it go through in a night where LSU was a 21-point underdog. Ole Miss last year. I can give you moments immediately, and every single Tiger fan is going to know exactly where they were when those moments happened. And you want to take that away because it's easy? Life ain't easy. Easy ain't fun. You can say, but winning is. Yeah, winning those games is real fun. Winning those games that are memories forever, that's what's fun. Beating the teams that you hate, that's what's fun. Beating the teams that when you see their colors, it makes you want to punch them right in the chest. That's what's fun. Getting 3 teams that create no emotion, what does that do for fans that spend their hard-earned money to go into Tiger Stadium to see the team that they just very much dislike, and for LSU to go out there and beat that team? Mm-hmm. Mississippi State, Kentucky, Vandy? If that happens to be on the rotation, we'll play them. But every year, that doesn't create the emotions that I'm looking for in college football.
The people that get assigned to your 3 yearly opponents by default become your 3 rivals. And I don't want a rival to be either one of those schools. But I guess the counter argument would be, yeah, winning those games is fun, but winning championships is more fun. Well, LSU's won 3 and not too long of a time frame here playing that schedule, playing those teams, playing those big games. And it's more meaningful that way when it happens that way, when you have to go through the hard stuff. But that's why people go to the SEC. That's why players choose to put on an LSU hat when they're sitting in front of their family and their friends and they're making a decision for the next 4 or 5. It is those big games. So when I look back at the time playing, like I think about the Ohio State National Championship game, sure. But I probably think about playing Florida more. I probably think about playing Auburn more, just because of the games and what it means, like playing in Tiger Stadium, playing in front of your home fans, and that was how electric the atmosphere is. And you're going to take that electricity way down, like if you get that. And that's not what SEC football. If you want to kind of do that and choose your own schedule, like an easy schedule, just drop out of the SEC, become independent. How about that? Works for Notre Dame.
Become Notre Dame. Make your own schedule.
I think they won one back in the 70s.
Yeah. Probably.
Maybe the 80s?
Hey, yeah, you can schedule. You can go play Stanford. You can play Cal.
Yep.
You can play maybe Pitt one year. Throw Michigan State on the rotation.
And then when you finally play a real team, you're not ready for it.
No, because you're not callous.
Yeah. You
got punched right in the mouth, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, this is different. This punch is a little bit harder than I'm used to. The emotions that those teams create in players and coaches during that week, you can't explain it. Like, when you're playing against Mississippi State, you think I'm doing everything I possibly can to get ready for this game. You truly do. And you're like, I'm going to go about my business. I'm going to do my work. I'm going to make sure that I watch that tape. And maybe you get your work done. You're ready for the game. But when you play Florida, hey, Matt, let's stay like 7 minutes after real quick. Like, let's work on this one wheel route. Hey, let's work on this speed option that we put in this week. I don't feel 100% about it right now. Hey, let's go. Hey, real quick. Let's go watch some of that extra protection tape that we had there, because the last thing that you want to do is lose to the jort-wearing Florida Gators. You want with all of your being, you want to go out there and you want to be victorious against that team. Hell, we came back from the NFL one year. Me and Flynn had the same bye week, okay? And so we come back. 2 years. I had been in the NFL for 2 years, both of us. We're supposed to be like professionals, all right? We're playing against the Florida Gators, and those front-running SOBs are jumping on the eye of the tiger. I'm on the sideline. I feel somebody tugging at my belt. I look back, and it's Flynn because my ass is at the hash mark trying to fight college kids, okay? Because that's what kind of emotion Florida brings out in me, and it's not just them. It could be the Auburn Tigers. It can be Alabama. Ole Miss, not as much, but I know there's a lot there. Because those are the teams that create those emotions. Not Mississippi State, not Kentucky, not Vanderbilt. It's nothing against those programs. Nothing against them. Again, Kentucky beat us. Vanderbilt, it has nothing to do with them, but it's like, no. These are the opponents that create what we love about college football.
Hey, can you imagine hosting the top recruits in the country and bringing them to a game, and it's a home game versus Vanderbilt or Mississippi State, and that's like the big one you bring them to.
Yeah.
Instead
you think
of
the crowd would be
game
doing
in
like
Florida.
they did the Gator Chomp in 2019 when the whole crowd? You think they'd be doing that?
Yeah. When you're hosting these genuinely, wholeheartedly ultra competitive people, ultra athletic people, you bring them to the games and you want them to be in a crowd that you're seeing people gator chomping.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's left over right, right over left, whatever it is. You want to see them against Alabama at night because they want to see the best on the best. And that is what college football, college fans want to see. And like in this day and age where, you're kind of starting to stray away from a lot of tradition, the least you can hope for is good competitive games every single week. That's why I want the Rent-A-Win out of the schedule completely.
Yeah.
I wish every single game was competitive.
Yeah. Hey, FCS schools, I love you.
Yep.
You got a place in my heart, right? There's Hall of Famers that were much better football players than both of us sitting up here right now that played at FCS schools. A lot of them. All right? This isn't a slight at you, but
Just a different league.
There's levels to this thing, okay? And in the springtime, I would love to set up something where FCS schools had a chance to come over to FBS schools and you had fans in the stadium and it was a spring scrimmage and, hey, you get paid money to come over here. We'll give you the entire gate. 20,000 people might show up and you get all of it, all right? But I don't need to ever see that again in Tiger Stadium. I just don't need to see it. I want the games that create the emotions that we're talking about here on the sideline, in the stands, in the booth, all over the stadium. And so maybe there's a place for those games. Maybe it's the springtime. I don't know. But it's not our job to care. It's just not. That's harsh, but it's not. It's not the FBS's job. It's not LSU's job to take care of the now called Group of Six or the FCS level. It's just not.
And again, if you get those teams on a rotation, great. Your strength of schedule, it worked out in your favor, whatever, for that season. But to say year in, year out that you'd rather position yourself to get in or have a chance to get in by default because the schedule's easy, that is the most. That's Notre Dame energy right there, in my opinion. I keep coming back to that because Notre Dame pisses me off all the time. Get in the schedule, get in the conference, and I'll respect you, but I don't respect you until you do that.